So out of 100 Catholic priests, what do you think are like doing harmful things to little boys? Or
Oh, I would guess 40%.
Oh, Jesus, that's so high.
You don't think it would be 40%?
No, I was going to say like 1%.
No way.
40%?
Yeah, 100%.
40%.
The church would just fold.
It should be.
So, yeah, the midterm elections just happened, and one of the things that I noticed was how attractive some of the women are.
That are running local or national?
Nationally. And it was, it's dramatic. Like, some of them are, like, model hot.
I don't pay attention to politics enough. I just see a bunch of old white dudes.
I didn't really until I started, I paid attention yesterday a lot, and then I started to see these pictures, these women popping up, and I'm like, where on earth did they find, they look like models.
From both sides of the aisle?
Mainly Republican.
Okay.
But, and
Like
I don't
Fox
know.
News.
Yeah, I don't know why that is, but it is.
I want to see some of
All
these.
right, so I'm
some
going
of
to
these
pull up
women
a couple to start. So we'll start with, so we're in Ohio. We'll start with this girl who ran for the House. She lost.
Okay.
Quick shout out to the sponsor of this video, Fully Loaded Tobacco-Free Chew. Check out the description of this video or the show notes to get 20% off your next order.
Can't wait to see this. Are they all pretty young, do you know?
This girl is 30, so she's very young. And, I mean...
What's the age restriction, 25 to run for House?
I don't know. But, I mean, what is going on here?
Wait, maybe I have seen this girl. She's, is she in Pennsylvania?
No, Ohio.
Oh.
Ohio.
So
this gal, I mean, it was just like, what the hell is happening here?
She's going to have a career in politics.
She lost last night. And part of me is like, well, why are you running a girl that even looks like this? It's almost, women almost can't vote for her. Men might.
Oh, men did.
I mean, if I would have known what she looked like, I would have definitely voted for her.
How do you think the pendulum swings, in terms of women being like, I'm actually going to discriminate against you because you're good looking, versus guys being like, wow, I've seen her. I'm going to go ahead and put her in the public eye.
But women could also be like, I want a female in there, right? Let's see more of us.
That's what's tricky,
as well.
right? But then women do hate women.
It's true.
So,
women
what do you do with this? It threw me off.
I would have to hear her talk, because I guess she does have to not be a complete moron. Not saying she is.
No, she might be a genius. But I'm just saying, this is an atypically good-looking woman, atypically good-looking human to run for office. And she's very young.
Isn't that interesting, though, too, how some people are objectively beautiful to essentially, I can't imagine a straight male looking at her and being like, no, she's not that good looking. You know what I mean?
No, you're right. There's not a lot of
population.
subjectivity to it. And the other thing is, it almost makes you think they're nice. The aesthetics of and it doesn't make sense because we know you could be incredibly good looking and be an evil person, but there's some people you look at them and you're like, that person doesn't, I don't like her or him. Just objectively looking at them, I'd be like, no, thank you. But not her. I look at her and I'm like, you know what? Probably pretty nice.
Probably a sweetheart. I'd agree.
It's true, when you think back to middle school, high school days when you had these BS your own council, you run for class council, president, whatnot. Usually it was the popular girls that would run and end up representing the class and do their little things and what they want to fight for your grade. Kind of government is that? And then why doesn't it continue to go past?
Yeah, it's we almost start wanting to have something to say instead of just looking good. But here we go. This is round 2. Now, this gal was my personal favorite. She ran for the House in Illinois. Okay. She also lost. And this is the thing. I don't know what the demographics are there. She may have been a major underdog. But that's what she looks like. I mean, this is model hot.
Yeah, she at least looks I don't want to speak poorly upon the Ohio girl, but she looks more formal.
Soft.
I guess.
She looks softer.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other girl looks
literally
ready to get like, yeah, like, right. No, this girl's got a much softer look. Like her face is softer.
Classier.
Yeah. I had a harder time finding like really good cleavage shots of her.
You know, I always wondered.
So maybe there's just not that many out there. I mean, like she's very soft.
She's very pretty.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like she is. See, here's my thing with
She
women.
let her
is
hair down a bit more on that one.
Yeah. A little lower top.
when they put too much makeup on, I think it's.
You think she went overboard in the makeup?
No. I actually think hers is okay.
Tasteful.
Yeah. Like there's
Not a great picture.
Who was the one MAGA lady that was running? It was at Arizona or something like that. I don't know. I saw she has like a butch haircut. Isn't that what they call it? The shorter hair.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I looked last night when I was tripping on mushrooms. I pulled up a picture of her, and I could not stop looking at her face because it was just painted on.
Yeah, and she's older too. I think that gal's like in her
the
50s.
wildest thing ever.
Like this Catalina gal, she looks like she's 30 too. I mean, you know what I mean? But she's in that same
Is
vein.
she older?
We'd have to go up and look.
Yeah, not that it really matters.
I mean, but
yeah.
how many?
What do you think? What's her age? What do you guess?
32.
Okay.
I'd say. No, I think I want to say a little bit older than 30, but I want to go 29.
Wow. Well, I don't see age right away. They didn't even give her a doggone age thing. I mean, they're not giving us much info here. They're probably trying to hide it.
Did she win? Do you know?
No, she lost. So this gal lost. So we're gonna go through there's 3 that were in the house that were like.
Wait, it says she was born in 93, so that makes her 29?
Wow, so she's 29.
Whoa, that's close.
Wow. All right, third one.
But okay, here's the question. You're saying there's a lot of them. I get it. But how many people actually ran, and what percentage?
A lot, but
of the people
I
that
don't
ran
ever
are like
remember in history looking at these candidates and thinking, where on earth did these women come from? Like, this girl won. So this young lady is a representative in the House of Representatives for Florida. She's 33. And, I mean, she's pretty. This is a good-looking woman.
What is that with her and her dog?
Got a dog photo?
Right there. What is that?
I think she was in the Air Force.
Okay.
So she's actually served the country and serving it well. Look at that. I mean, what on earth are you going to do with this?
I mean,
You almost have to vote for her.
I don't hate.
How do you not vote for her?
I don't
look at
hate
that.
it.
And she served the country. God bless her. But
Yeah,
she's
we're
like,
basing this solely on how these women look.
no, I don't know. I have no idea what her politics are. And the thing is, like if I was her, I just would blast my face everywhere and be like, almost every man would be like, you know what? She earned my vote. This gal gets it. She's here to make my life better.
Hey, I'm all about diversity in government.
Me too.
Hot,
And there is
women,
an underrepresented group,
young.
and it's young, hot women.
Yes, and even if it's
There's
like,
a lot of old white men. These are actually the other thing I didn't think about. The last 2 are Hispanic as well.
but even if
I don't
it's-
see race.
Even if it's like young, good-looking dudes, I'm okay with that. Like,
Heck yeah.
get some young blood.
I actually didn't
in
notice if there. I didn't really look into that just because I was so taken by how attractive some of these women are. But yeah, I'm with you. They've been held down long enough.
Yeah, look,
I want them to break the glass ceiling.
Give me a Brad Pitt in Congress. Give me a Leo in Congress.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Get him in there.
This girl's had a hard time in life, discriminated against, lots of stuff, and now she gets to represent us, and she's objectively pretty.
You know,
I'm
this,
like I want to learn more about these women now, because at the end of the day,
What do you mean,
politics, because
That's all you need to know. What more do you need to know?
what is their policy? Like, okay, what does she stand
yeah, the
for?
policy,
I'm not worried about that. What are you worried about? Policy.
just like the track to get to this point, to run, and how you got the funding necessarily, but more at the end of the day, we put politics on this random pedestal. You're supposed to just be representing the people.
She's
So
a dime.
I think
mean,
they could do fine. They don't need to know everything. You just
No,
need
you're
to
not gonna
hear
know
people
shit.
and then go to work for the
yeah,
people.
Yes.
do what they ask you to do.
I mean,
And here's the thing. If you're going to vote for someone and they're going to work for you, you know what they might as well be? Super hot.
Yeah, because they can get things done. I mean, people who are very good looking have an advantage.
Hell
for
yeah.
so many things.
That gal walks into some old Republican guy's office and she's like, "Hey, I want to do such and such." Who's got a better chance, her or like some really ugly dude?
Well, that's the same thing with like we always say, like sales. In sales, like when you're walking into a meeting and you're whether or not you're a man or a woman, handsome, beautiful, you got an upper hand, most likely.
Why does
unless it's paired up to what we were just saying? Because I think that some women might actually just be like, I don't even know what you
turned
stand
off?
for.
Yeah, she's too
but
hot.
Get out of here. I'm not voting for you.
Yeah.
If they actually knew what she looked like when they're in the voting booth that day. A lot of people going on your head.
Yeah,
Like, it's a name.
Yeah,
That's all I know.
she's almost too good looking. You know, she's on the borderline. Really, all three of those girls are like almost. She's the first one was a little.
Too hot.
And what was
No,
your
she
search
was a
query
little
to find this? Did you just type in like hot candidates? Like, how did you come across?
I forget. I think they had their names up or something. But the one girl, the other girl was hard to find. The last one, Catalina Loff, was hard to find. That took some real work.
Hard to find.
I
Like,
had
you
to
knew she
really-
was out there.
I knew she was out there. I didn't know her name.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant she like scrubbed her social media.
No,
presence or
she
On the
was
something.
dark
just-
web. You heard something about this hot candidate. In,
No,
like, this
she was
area?
just so hot.
But you got to think that on Twitter, you're going to see people sharing a bunch of hot individuals running for Congress, especially
Yeah.
women, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you're just going to have. I guess that's a simple way to find them.
I
But,
just don't know where the hell these girls came from.
I don't hate it. I think we should get more, like I said, more good-looking women in there. Because think about it, if one of these good-looking
Look at
women,
this.
as long as she could
Wait,
handle
which one's that again?
That's Catalina. So if I'm ranking, I think I put her one. I think that the Anna Luna from Florida, who actually won, I put her at 2, and then the Gilbert gal who was in Ohio, I put 3. She's just not my style.
What's is this picture of this same girl right
Yeah, she's a big fan of hot sauce. Apparently,
here? These are beans too.
she's just got a real personable face.
But I'm all on board for this. I really am. I mean, if we're having individuals go to bat for our state, I think the hotter the better, because
They're gonna get more done.
They're just gonna get stuff done.
Yeah, and they have to win first. The girl that was in Ohio, that Gilbert gal, she lost. Now, I don't know anything about her politics, but I know she was hot, and I feel like that was a missed opportunity on Ohio's part. Like, she could have went to bat. She could have went into all those old guys' offices and been like, hey, Akron, Ohio really, really needs a new whatever. We got to put this into the bill. And then bat her eyelashes. Like, if I walk in there and I'm like, hey, like, what am I going to do?
Would you?
Jack the guy off? Like, I only have I have mechanical tools. She has visual tools.
Do you consider being hot a skill?
I think if used correctly, yeah, I do. Why do you
Well,
think?
that's the skills, using it correctly. Just
Right.
Like anything. I think being hot in general. I think it goes both ways, though. For us, like if we were in a business setting and making as a decision maker, I think there's bias. You kind of tend to just like agree like with whatever sales pitch you're given if they're a beautiful person.
This was an interesting one, by the way.
But I think it definitely goes the other way in some cases.
Yeah, they can be too hot. So this was the governorship for Michigan. So it was actually between these two girls. So they were both, I believe they're both late 40s or early 50s. They're both kind of attractive.
Wait, the one is she's
The
Michigan.
girl on the right is Gretchen Whitmer.
Yeah,
she is the current Michigan governor who, I mean,
Wasn't that when
sounded like a full-blown train wreck.
when we were going through the big C word back in 2020? Wasn't she telling everybody to stay home and she like took out her boat?
Oh yeah,
Was that-
oh
was
yeah,
that her?
yeah,
Okay, I
and
remember.
like send people to die in nursing homes and shit,
Yes.
and like
And she's like,
shut
"I'm gonna be on my
everything
boat."
down for 2 years.
Okay,
she's
okay,
she's a real peach.
I remember. I
That's
remember.
She
rough.
won
Shame.
re-election against this girl, and what I didn't get was, I don't know how you re-elect her because the other girl's objectively hotter, right? I mean, if I'm looking at these two, this is what's tricky. They're both good looking.
I think they'll both get stuff done based on their looks.
Yeah, but this is personal preference. But to me, and the other thing is I feel like that's a very flattering picture of the Gretchen. The other gal to me is
You think it's flattering? I do see a lot of tenacity. It would almost like scare like
Yeah,
In the bedroom, like they'll rip your dick off.
Yeah, no, and there's a very real chance that they both would. But to me, she's a little softer on the eyes and objectively prettier. That's a good-looking woman.
So, okay.
And
Much softer
She's
there.
a little different, too, because, remember, she's got like 20 years on these gals. She's older. Now, she lost. She's not going to be the governor. But Michigan, I really think they had an opportunity in front of them to have what it was an already, like, probably... That was probably the hottest governor. Actually, that South Dakota girl's really hot. We'll go to her next.
No, well, I think we get the
The
picture.
Michigan governor
Because-
was a top 5 hot governor in the United States of America. They could have jumped and went to like 1 or 2, and they didn't do it. They really missed the mark on that. I think that they really missed the mark. I mean, like if you're like we have Mike DeWine in Ohio, like he is ugly and goofy looking. That is a governor.
I ran into him at that speedway the one day. He was going to the Akron Zips game. He is like so tiny. And
Is he real
like,
short?
He's like 5'1", 5'2".
Yeah, no, and he is not hot. She is.
He's not hot.
All right, so we get we get the picture. Okay, a lot of them are hot, but here's my question: with all of these hot women, it makes me think about how incels and volcels even exist.
Okay, please explain the definitions of these. Is it like guys that like can't get any? and they just
Incels
hide?
are involuntary. I can't say the word. Someone say it.
Involuntarily celibate.
Yes. So they can't have sex because whether it's because women just won't have sex with
Yeah,
them.
they're celibate, in so they're not having sex under no choice of their own. They're so unattractive to women that women they cannot have sex. This is where I would just
like
go
even
to
like
a prostitution. Yeah,
Oh,
but that's where my brain would go.
Prostitutes will have sex with them. Did you say even? If,
Yeah, no, they will.
Oh yeah.
But these guys,
but
I
they're
think,
choosing not to.
No, they don't have a choice. Like they can't have sex with regular women, but prostitutes will definitely have sex with them.
yeah. I don't know if there's like standards for prostitutes.
All right, so they're equipped. Like they're not like erectile dysfunction oriented or anything along those lines.
Not that I'm aware of. I think they just are
they-
really
They
goofy.
can't get any because girls won't unless they pay for it. Sweet. Is that what this definition means?
Yeah. I don't even know if the pay for it part.
All right.
The
Just not
incel is
Yeah,
essentially
They
the
struggle to get some to the point where they just give up and they're not having
Whether
sex.
and it might even not even be that they're not good looking. They just don't pursue it because they think like, oh, woe is
Yeah.
me, like that kind of
Yeah.
thing. So there's a spectrum, if you will.
Uh,
Volcels are volcels are voluntary celibate.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that word meant. So these people just don't want to have sex.
They just don't have sex.
And maybe they're just like they masturbate, I'm assuming.
I don't know, maybe. But here's
That'd be legit.
I think
That's commitment.
I think that's a bad thing though because like to be voluntary celibate, I don't think that's healthy.
No.
Like think about here the most
These are the
famous-
guys that like shoot up schools and stuff.
Yes, the most famous and like touch little kids. The most famous volcels I know of are Catholic priests. And what are they doing?
Very good point. Very good
Like
point.
I almost think that you got to let these guys have sex.
The priests or the volcels?
The priests,
All of them.
all of them. We need to like force them to have sex. It's
Wait.
like
You want to put them on like a rape stand?
I don't know.
Be like, hey man, like listen, you're gonna lay down there.
You need to have sex now. What? Okay, I guess we could say we could put them in like a VR machine or something and be like, just lay there.
Yeah. Maybe have they ever done it?
wait, is this made up or is this an actual issue?
Yeah, no, it's a thing.
So there's communities of people that are doing this. Are they causing any harm to anyone?
No,
not
they're
until
voluntary.
not until
they're
they
touching
all
it.
snap.
Yeah, they're not
Alright.
touching anybody.
So it's just a category segment of people that like either choose or can't have sex.
No,
And
they're
we're-
choosing not to. Voluntary celibate,
the
right? So
vol-
it's not. Yeah, because there's some people I'm sure that can't.
But the
for
inept
who
ones,
knows what
is
reason.
just, regardless of each segment, there's no real. They're not causing harm for the most part, but
No.
it's just like, why do they exist?
Yeah.
Is what we're talking about.
Why do they exist, and could it turn into a problem? Because like the example I gave is Catholic priests, and
Yeah, they're a problem.
they're a problem.
But
Well, if
not in, it's also not an overwhelming percentage of them. You know what I mean? Like
Of Catholic priests that are voluntary
No, that are doing anything negative with that.
Are you kidding me? The Catholic Church is known for like.
I know, but I'm
kid
saying it.
fucking.
What
So
do you,
out of
what do you think the
100 Catholic
percentage?
priests, what do you think are
I'm saying it's
like
probably like 1.
doing harmful things to little boys or whatever?
Oh, I would guess 40%.
Oh Jesus, that's so high.
You don't think it would be 40%?
No, I was gonna say like 1%.
No way.
40%?
100%.
They would,
40%.
the church would just fold.
It should be.
They
it's
can't have
not.
40% of the people banging kids.
There's 40% of Catholic
No way.
priests
All right,
banging
let's look
kids.
this up.
It's got to be. It's way higher than 1%. You guys are idiots.
It's definitely not 40.
Yeah, like
Okay, 20%.
this would
it's
be
under
a much
5.
bigger
No way
topic.
it's under 5. It's over 5. And that's the thing. When you look up these stats, how are we even going to be able to find the ones that are true? Because the Catholic Church is, they're burying the data. But let's see what you're going to find. Fake news. Let's find out.
And I feel like you're going to get something bad on here after I just searched
It's
for
not 1
this.
and it's not 5. It's higher.
Shit. Yes,
Okay.
it's got to be.
I
less
can
than-
black out the screen.
13, so it says 1,600 clergymen had committed some type of sexual attack against minors between 1946 and 2014. That's a low number.
I don't believe it. But look how many minors. It was like 3,600. It was
Yeah,
double.
but that's over a long time.
So they're each on average touching
What?
like 2 kids.
What'd
And
you
like,
say?
maybe one's like a prolific molester
Toucher?
of children.
I mean, maybe. I think it's very high.
That's so funny. Like you can't tell if you're messing with us or not. That 40%. So 4 out of every 10.
I think you guys are fucking crazy. It's very high. I would put it at 40%.
Okay, 4%. There we go. There's at least something.
Okay,
There's a number.
that is what they're saying.
So you
right?
think it's 10 times, the problem is 10 times as bad.
I mean, at least double.
Dude,
maybe
4%
triple.
seems so high. If that,
4%'s a high number to me.
Because
Yeah.
every 100,000 people, that's what, 4,000?
Where's an other phase in between U.S. between 1950, so over 52 years.
Yeah, so we're figuring-
some sort of sexual abuse on minors. That seems insane.
That's a lot. It's a lot. 4%'s a lot. It's not 40. 40.
4% is how many were caught, and the data wasn't buried. The evidence has been hidden from us. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, no, it's a massive problem but I don't think it's any. I think if you
Why are you so passionate about this number being higher? What do you know that we don't know?
I know people. So I know somebody, not me for the record, that this happened to, and he turned because of it.
Oof.
Oh.
But I think it's way higher than you realize. Plus, if you think about it, that number is all that we know, 4%. What about the individuals that just disappear off Earth? We were talking about this a little bit earlier, Al. There's hundreds of thousands of people that disappear off Earth every single year. They just go missing. And it's like, some of those could have been molested by Catholic priests. And then just end up- so
What a parallel.
I think connecting those
Guys.
two things is a bridge too far.
no, it's not. Listen,
I
this
think the
is-
Catholic priests don't really have to go like disappearing kids. They have kids at their disposal. That's the whole.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they
That's the perk of being a Catholic priest.
That's
Is that
on
you
the-
don't have to go looking.
No.
It's the same reason that teachers are. That's a good question. Who molested more kids in the last year, 2 years?
Actually, do it. Look
Teachers?
it up. Teachers, percentage of teachers accused of some sort.
I'm
of
not
sexual
talking. Well, there's a lot
misconduct.
more teachers than there are priests.
So percentage based though. It's good.
Teachers will be
You guys are so dumb because it's on the record and off the record numbers. We can't forget this. I'm telling you,
Regardless,
the Catholic
though,
Church is snatching up
You'll
kids.
have the same because when you're
On
when
the
you're a
record,
minor,
snatching kids
like
out
what
of
keeps you quiet? It's like a person of authority. Like I just need to do what they need to do. So whether or not it's a priest or a teacher, like
Dang.
as a minor, you're most likely going to be like, I shouldn't say anything. This is my teacher. This is my priest, and that's when you wouldn't tell your parents to like have action. So regardless if the number of teachers, in terms of just raw number, there might be 100 times the number of priests out there. Just percentage of like cases that have come up with teachers. So it looks like you have a stat here.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a lot.
Is it a percentage or a
Number So in the first 9 months of the calendar year 2022, 269 public educators were arrested.
Oh, jeez.
That's not even the ones that, got away with it, that are disappearing all these kids.
Well, I don't know if teachers are disappearing kids. I think it's just a Catholic.
Wait,
But
is this in
that's
the United
two.
States?
Yeah, that's just in the United States.
And that's this year.
That's the first 9 months
See,
of
and
the
that's
year.
with this day and age where there's more information out there. There's more, I think, conversations happening. I can only imagine because the Catholic priest stat was 1950 to 2002.
Yeah, I don't even think the Catholic priests are going to be in the same ballpark.
And back in the day, weren't you scared to death to I don't know, go against your teacher, any person of authority?
Mm-hmm.
I think nowadays kids can get away with anything. So back in the day, knowing that trend has taken place, I could see if you were to go back in history and look at the same correlation of this sort of thing happening with taking a job where you're going to be around adolescents or whatever it may be. I think it's probably even worse.
But this makes my point for the Catholic priests is because you go to confession, they know all your freaking secrets. It's immediate blackmail.
Yeah,
The priest is like, "Do you want me to tell about that sin you committed, sir?"
yeah,
You're like, "No."
Well,
especially
as
when
a
you're
teacher,
little.
You could do the same thing.
true.
You could always find something. I'm going to tell your mom that XYZ, you acted up in
Or you
class.
could make
But
it
it's
up.
different from when you admit your sins to the Catholic priest. Your
Yeah.
sins are very secretive to you as a
Well,
child.
in religion, yeah, they scare you to death with whatever it may be. If you do this, you're going to hell. And I'm like,
That's what I mean. You told me all your secrets. You're going to go to hell if you don't. Let me have
This is
sex
a
with
little
you or
harder to
whatever.
find. It's a much longer time spans. I'm not finding a good stat, but we saw it was something like 3,000 over 50 years, so you could do the math. But yeah, I mean, no, it's a big problem.
We know teachers who we went to
Yeah.
that taught in our high school, and they had sex with students
Kids.
that graduated.
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe they were still in high school.
We know one of the girls we went to school with became a teacher and then got fired for
Say the name. I'll block.
diddling a kid.
I don't know if
I'll-
we should say names.
No. Well, I'll block. Okay. Was that true?
She got fired.
Oh,
I don't know.
jeez.
I didn't look into it. Isn't he the same deal?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
here's another
yeah.
one.
I mean, that's two people we know.
Yeah, it's true.
So
But she didn't. I don't think she went to jail, but he did, huh? So it is a double standard with.
yeah, the gals can get away with whatever they want. The guys can't.
I didn't think about
It's a different animal too. Think about it. If you're a 16-year-old guy or you're a 16-year-old girl, if my son was 16 years old and had sex with a 28-year-old teacher, I'd be like, it's kind of annoying. I wish you didn't do that.
Yeah, but as long as he was fine mentally, it was like.
If the tables were turned, I would go and I would physically murder the teacher myself.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I'm not saying that that's even rational thought processes, but that's kind of how my brain would initially react.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a double standard. That's for sure. But
Just like wearing a ring. You guys see this ring I got here?
What the
really
heck
nice.
It was my grandpa's. I guess he used to
Nice.
wear jewelry. I was like, let me put this thing. I'm
I
not
like
gonna
it.
wear it all the time. I just wore it for the spot.
I like it a lot.
See how it feels.
Was it intended to be a pinky ring, or
Yeah, I
is
guess
it the
it was
only
a
one that
pinky
fit?
ring.
It was a cock ring.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for checking out this podcast. Please make sure to hit that thumbs up button before you go. If you want to watch us continue the conversation, then click on this video to your left next.